Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this very special show match brought to you by SGS College. And we are so excited to have this Women Esports show match. I am joined here by Dante. I'm not sure which way I'm pointing to get to Dante, but yeah, here we are. And how are you feeling about this one today, Dante?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. Obviously getting a bit more of a show matchy kind of vibe. So just to kind of give everyone the kind of rundown. This is more just to kind of show off some skills and things. There is nothing on the line. However, pride is on the line, and some people do kind of build that up as the most thing. But there's no kind of there's nothing really all to play for, so it is just a big show off of the skill. Yeah, really excited to see. Overwatch has had a big change in terms of the perk system that I'm quite new to, so I can only imagine how the players are feeling. Me and Susie have been kind of running through that a little bit, but Susie, any kind of expectations or even just kind of further rundowns to give everyone just before we get into the game?
I'm coming in with very high expectations of these team as I expect them to be absolutely spot on. Grandma, no, seriously. Just have fun, guys. I hope everyone really enjoys it because the main thing we are here for today is to really showcase the talents of women in esports, in the United Kingdom. We've got some brilliant teams here. We've got the Cheney Chimeras who are coming in, and I'm not going to read out their team players view because you'll see when you see them in game. It's a bit of a pointless, fruitless activity. And also we have got the blended family coming together here. We have 3 different colleges coming in. We got 2 from Western Wave Riders. We got 3 players from the NSCG Dragons, and we've got 2 from First Shot, SGS First Shot, who are actually organising this whole thing today. So have you got any comments on these players? I think we've got a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah, no, we absolutely do. So as well, just because we should have the graphics up on screen now. So we'll see the blended college team at the moment. So just to kind of give you a brief rundown again. So SGS College, Weston College, NSCG, Stafford, and Cheney. Cheney are coming in with their full stack, but just for purposes, they can't use their own accounts, so they have been lovingly donated the account names 5 to 9, or I believe, sorry, no, 8 to 14. Sorry, apologies for that. So we will not get to be seeing that, kind of their own names, but we will obviously still get to see their skills and how they do run through. Cheney is all girls, and as an all girls school, and of course the other blended colleges are women's support as well as obviously the whole purpose of the event. For anyone interested as well, the VOD of this event will actually be going to a broadcast later at the Girls in Tech Day at the UWE, so University of West England in Bristol. That'll be in the 5th of March to over 200 schoolgirls from the years 9 to 11 to kind of raise awareness and promote, obviously, participation in esports. So that's really what the big lineup is, as so eloquently put by the lovely Susie, that it is just to kind of show awareness and, give a bit more space to some players or teams that maybe, just want to show off how well they are.
Yeah, let's not forget that the whole women in esports thing, it's still quite new. There's still so much discrimination within the community, and it's good to actually showcase what these girls can do. And of course, not just girls, non-binary and marginalized gender. Everyone is welcome in esports. Everybody's welcome in the women in esports tournament. So let's hope we have some great games today from these teams. But let's talk about Overwatch. We did mention this perk system. It's only been out for a week. My apologies if I am getting these things confused, as I'm sure you may be a little confused.
My apologies as well. I think we're both going to be a little scrambling in the dark.
Yeah, but basically, this can either change your entire game or it cannot change it at all. There's so many different perks out there to choose from. You have ones that are going to completely make you think about how to play a character completely differently, or you've got ones which are kind of like passive, little increases to the damage, your speed, that sort of thing. So is there anything that really pops out into your eyes there, Dante?
So you actually mentioned it as well, and it popped out to me just before we began the broadcast here. So for anyone that is a very OG player, and I imagine actually for some of the younger players, kind of here, they maybe never experienced this in any capacity. So back in 2016 or 17, it was removed pretty early on. Was Reaper's his orb collection ability. So he didn't used to have like a life steal. So currently, when he deals damage with his shotguns, he gets his some health back. what used to happen was it was on any kind of elimination he got, a soul orb would drop, and that would give him, I believe it was around 50 to 100 HP. One of the perks is literally that mechanic again on top of his lifesteal, which was kind of rad to see, I gotta say, as someone who has played Overwatch since OG 2016. Susie, you'd mentioned it as well. Is there any other ones that you are particularly interested by?
I've just been reliably informed that May has a really good one right now. When she goes
Okay.
into her cryo freeze, aka the ice block, she not only slows but deals damage to everyone around her, which is pretty broken as well. I think that could be an interesting one to see.
Oh my days! Yeah, I'm just reading that. That's 70 damage a sec. That's a big number. That's quite ridiculous for anyone that maybe doesn't know the numbers. I mean, most we refer to as squishy as kind of the like the very low HP characters. They're all around 225, 250. So that's 3 seconds standing next to May, and you just kind of fall over. That's rad.
That's going to be so interesting because we'll all have had the May deal, 1v1. You're very close to dying on both ends of the spectrum, and then suddenly she goes into her ice block, and you're like, oh, now you're going to come out in full health. But now you're going to go, oh, you're going to come out in full health,
I'm also
and I'm
dying.
going to die. So,
And I'm also dying.
yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. As a support player myself, I am quite interested in the fact that Anna can now nano herself when she nanos somebody else. That is one I particularly like. And there's all sorts of things. I don't know what sort of characters we're going to see coming out from the teams today. But I'm interested to see what perks they pick as well. It's kind of like a whole new game going on here.
Yeah, that's the thing, because the perks as well, as far as I know, but you can correct me maybe if I'm wrong, Susie, but I believe it's more of a lock-in. So you pick the perk whenever you select the hero. I believe you may be able to get a change at mid-match, but it resets your level. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on it, of course. But yeah.
So you pick your character at the start, and then you've got to sort of build up to getting your perk.
Yep.
So obviously, the better you play, the quicker you get it in terms of killing, healing, whatever your character's meant to do. And if you change your character, it will reset your progress. So.
Okay, perfect. So good. Okay, excellent. That's absolutely grand. So that's kind of how I felt it would work. You were saying in terms of yourself being a support player, I'm cheekily looking at what Zenyatta's are because I adore Zenyatta. But Anna has had one that I've seen a lot of people using, which is she essentially slam dunks her bio nade now.
Yeah.
she essentially trick shots it, which is absolutely insane. Because after exploding, Biotic Barrier bounces and explodes again for 50 damage and healing. So it's essentially a little double tap. You were mentioning the nano boost as well. So in terms of the perks, to give everyone kind of an example of how differently you can play with these perks, any Anna player that I've seen has picked Shrike, which is the one that Susie had just mentioned, the nano on, the whoever you choose it on, and Anna herself. But if you do want to try and go for like cheeky snipes, the other option is that her biotic rifle can do crits.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
It's a bit crazy, but like, if you are really good at aiming, then that's going to be good for you because, I mean, who has not wanted to shoot somebody in the head with Anna? And now it's a possibility you can do that yourself. That's cool. Yeah, but we've just had a little update to one of our team members at the moment. We've got one of the Western Wave Riders players filling in for one of the players on Cheney who can't be with us today. So it's okay. We've had a little bit of a switch around there. You'll know. It'll be the only one who's not called a number.
If we yell Twilight, I think we've both agreed we're just going to go for the numbers. I believe will probably be the easiest way to keep everyone up to date on the shenanigans that are happening. In terms of it as well, just very quickly for anyone that is curious, the map pools and everything still works the exact same way that kind of the student esports leagues and all work. The same kind of way the Overwatch leagues and all work. So we'll be going through it. Loser, I believe, will still be picking the map, and to basically no one's surprise, our first map is Lijiang.
It's a classic, isn't it? They can bring out all these new maps, but we always go back to Lijiang. And it's Lunar New Year version, which was a few weeks ago, Lunar New Year. So it's all fitting, isn't it? All relevant.
All comfy, all as well. You were saying it's the same thing because it's so glad that like no matter how much Overwatch changes, you can add an extra number. We live in Lijiang, we live in Kings Row. We don't New scares us. we want to sit back in our old comfortable maps that we know and that we're very like. So we'll have to see if Kings Row obviously pops up. It would be nice actually if the teams did immediately prove me wrong and go for something a bit more kind of non-standard. But I'd imagine we'd be like whatever you're expecting likely will be comfortable, especially for the Cheney school, who again are going to be struggling maybe a little bit now with the fact that they are missing one of their teams. One of their members. We had mentioned that obviously just playing in a 5-stack in any team game immediately gives you a huge advantage. So we'll have to see how Twilight can kind of respond to being maybe not kind of the odd number out, but just obviously not played around as much with the team.
Yeah, well, we are actually going to kick off this first game right here onto our first map here. And okay, what characters are we looking at here? I'm not sure if it's actually in game at the moment. I think they're still loading up. Okay, never mind. They're still loading up game. Okay,
here we are.
Okay. Real game coming up, guys. Like assembling the heroes. So what do you think we can expect from a map like this? We see those bridges. They are very known for Farah booping, for Lucio booping, that sort of thing. Do you think we'll get any of that today?
I would assume so, especially more from the side of Cheney's, again, just because they're, I imagine, a bit more coordinated, so there might be more kind of dive. We did already see the Winston actually pop up, and we've seen that from Twilight. Quite surprising to see the kind of main tank who would, typically dive, be the player that you're not, or be the player that hasn't played in the roster as much. We do see that actually swap over to D.Va, which is probably a slightly better idea. There's not too much in the way of support for that dive. We do see Soldier, Mercy, and Hanzo, so the rest of that is quite backliney. So it will be Twilight doing, gathering quite a lot of the space. We do see a very aggressive side though coming out from the other side of our collage here. So we'll have to see how they play it.
Yeah, and here we go. We've got a nice little speed boost coming out from that Juno speed ring there on the side of Team 1, which is our blended family. And they seem to have made it to the point first. And they're just going to keep everybody back on that bridge. Not gonna, oh, we have had a casualty there. Number 9 has gone down to Kazumi on that Tracer. And number 8 seems to have just given up as well. Maybe just fell off the bridge there, a little bit of a back step. We have got Mercy here doing their little level best to heal everybody up. But at the moment, it looks like our blended family is going to get this first point.
Yeah, no, Carnage, I believe, I refer to him as, his name still hasn't quite stuck with me. I believe it is Carnage or Anarchy, but our newest hero has been really difficult for a lot of people to kind of deal with. He is just really scary in terms of the level of control. Hazard, sorry, that's it. I always forget. Hazard's name just hasn't stuck with me quite yet. But yeah, the ability to kind of put up walls and such like that, kind of similar to May. It just means there's quite a bit of decent control, and we see the push already coming out. The Juno utility popped, Mini Dragon popping off as well, and yeah, this is an absolute hazard for the side of Cheney as the team essentially falls in one fell swoop. That should be a team kill.
Yeah, that is it. Ding dong, team kill. That's some beautiful work there from that Hazard going right in. With those arm blades as well, that's a good little bit of extra damage. And the walls blocking everybody up. That spiky wall, it's like a May wall, but worse.
But so much worse. It's absolutely terrifying. And we were mentioned, so the perks for anyone, look for the bottom right of your screen once they start coming online, which in theory for our blended family should be pretty soon, because they have been doing a lot of damage, getting quite a bit of control. We see the Hazard ult is online, basically ready to go from Sleepy Esther. We'll see when it gets popped. The D.Va just getting collapsed upon. We see that May wall just shutting them down. Twilight getting picked off, and when you lose your main tank, that's kind of the push already over.
Yeah, and Sleepy Esther going right in there into the back line to pick up those last little few there. If you look on the left-hand side underneath the name, you can see that little bar going up. The little blue bar in the case of Kazumi here, and that is telling you how close you are to your perk. So we're getting there. Oh, and Sleepy Esther does have their first perk now. We can see they're on level 2, and they have selected their perk. And if you give me 1 second, I can tell you what that perk is.
I can actually do it right now because I'm looking to back you up on that, because I was equally confused. So that is the jagged wall. So the damage it does actually hits with the spike guard and does gives a bit more energy as well as kind of damage and things as well. But speaking of damage, Twilight popping the D.Va bomb through, getting a double kill, immediately shutting down the aimbot from the Echo Soldier 76. That's going to fall down, but unfortunately the survival survivability for the blended team just seems to be too strong. This Hazard has been an absolute thorn in the side of the blended team, and unfortunately for them, that double kill from Twilight not going to be quite enough, and the first point is going to go to our blended squad.
Yeah, good attempt there from the Cheney Esports there. However, we've got to also take in consideration Twilight, having just joined the team 5 minutes ago, also does not have comms with them. Not having your main tank on comms, I mean, that's going to be a big hit, isn't it?
That's scary. That's a little bit concerning. That's something that like you can really only do if you have played very, very consistently. And I do believe, just looking at the rest of Cheney, Twilight might look at something better, like maybe a Ramatra or maybe like an Orisa, something that can play with the team. Oh, there we go. Oh, my Twilight is listening to the stream. Hey, Twilight. Not sure if that's allowed, but it is a show match, so it's not too serious. But yeah, something that can play a bit more defensively with this team, because other than I guess Hanzo, you had nothing to back you up as you pushed. So we've got a bit more kind of death bally style now. So maybe that'll work out for Cheney.
Yeah, and you can see everyone's little perk bot is coming along quite nicely now. I think we are going to see pretty much everyone get their first level perks in this fight. Oh, that spiky wall there. It's just going to catch Chiefo Zen there, just stopping them from getting back, doing a lot of damage. You're going to be a bit of trouble. Oh, and they have had the first blood. Juno has gone down on the blended team there. Nice shot there from the Anna. And I don't think any more casualties are going to happen right now. Oh, hang on. That's really so low there, backing off. I think it's the Kiriko Mini Dragon gets out with a tiny little scrap of health. But it's all going on here, backwards and forwards. Okay, GeForce 9 has been taken down by that wall. Hang on. The Echo has just given up. Not quite sure what happened to them there. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you fell off the map or what, but I do want to point out as well, the frags initially actually going towards the like the blended team getting the initial frags, or sorry, no, it was Cheney getting the initial frags, but the blended team actually, Kazumi just kind of chilling on the point, going, you can get all the frags you want, but this is the objective. This is what you need to do. So stealing that away, getting a little bit of percentage kind of stolen on. We do now see obviously the point being controlled by them, so we'll have to wait and see. Anarchy trying his best, or Hazard, sorry, I keep calling him Anarchy. Hazard getting immediately burned down. Speaking of burning down, Ramessis is trying to and will get followed up by Mini Dragon to get that kill on Esports 9. That's a big amount of damage gone, and healing for the soldiers. Then close to follow, so a lot more damage gone. And yeah, just this dive on the back line. Sleepy Esther and Mini Dragon have absolutely been deadly on these dives.
Yeah, absolutely. Twilight managed to hold the point for a little bit longer there. You know, percentage is what matters in this. If you get to 100, you're all good. Oh, but what's going on here? Hang on. That Hanzo didn't die! You didn't finish them off! Nearly got away with it. 2 Cheney Esports 8 there, hiding in the corner. You thought I was dead, but no.
Haven't gone quite yet.
Alright. Oh, hang on. Early pick-off there from the Zen onto Mini Dragon. That could be everything you need with one of those Hawk players going down as they manage to push themselves in. Here comes the Transcendence. Keep everybody nice and healthy during this push. Not seeing too much going on in terms. Oh, hang on. Here we go. With the ultimate from the Hazard. It's brilliant. It catches the Xenia right in their path. However, Twilight, meanwhile, in Twilight Town, is popping that Annihilation and, yeah, just absolutely cleaning up.
Yeah, Ramatra has been a very strong pick from a lot of teams we have seen, and just because the survivability of Ramatra, I mean, that Nemesis kind of state that he has, so that's whenever he like kind of just pulls out his fists and just starts punching you. He's very tanky and very difficult to deal with, especially if he's got both of his perks online, which we're going to absolutely see he does. So the blended team now are absolutely able to find a little bit more, but this dive, again, Hazard has been so scary. Ramessis is going to back him up along with Kazumi. The frags are coming down. Twilight trying his best to punch the enemy off, but not going to be doing enough, as finally the control will go back towards the blended team.
But not before they've got 77% on that point, which is pretty decent considering they haven't been able to communicate so well. But you can see the difference in the communication here with the blended team, obviously able to talk to each other and say, we're going to dive this one. Meanwhile, poor Twilight just kind of has to go alone on the, without the comms.
Just relying on that backup as well, it can be difficult without the comms. But so far, I mean, has been doing a decent bit. I mean, as long as you are following your main tank, we have been seeing Twilight trying to take the space as much as possible, but if you want to talk about taking space, Sleepy Esther on that hazard has just been essentially refusing any space, any control towards Cheney, and that's something they've been really struggling with. I mean, we see the Esports 9 goes down, Twilight again trying his best, but likely not going to be able to take that control.
Yeah, and it does look like this is going to go the way of our blended team as they just pick up everybody one by one. Kazumi backing off a little bit, getting some help. Oh, and Twilight getting very low there. Manages to pop that Annihilation, and wait, we are getting some picks here. Not quite enough there. However, the rest of the team is doing some really good work. The Echo has copied Twilight in that matter of form, but here comes the nano-boosted soldier just to pick off everybody, and we're now 80%. This is going to go all the way.
Okay, that was some really clutch shooting there from Esports 6 and 9 there. That was beautiful stuff. And yeah, we see the power as well of these perks again. Esports 6 opting for that slam dunk bio nade on top of course, the self nano, just because nanoing yourself and someone else is so strong. The Transcendence now getting popped as well. But this is, as you said, Susie, this is the fight. All ultimates need to get popped. You do not want to go down without having every piece of cooldown and every piece of utility used. And it seems like VHS has really understood that assignment. 3 members of Cheney are going to fall. Looks like they're going to be followed up soon. Yeah, Kazumi is going to bring that down as well. And yeah, just when it looked like Cheney, we're going to bring it back. The blended team manage it. Incredibly good start, but very tight fought.
It was right up to the very end there. Brilliant from both teams. I'm not sure what perks Juno had there, but those little pulse bombs actually, they seem to be killing quite a lot there. That was quite good. But yeah, brilliant from both. Here's Sleepy Esther with the play of the game. Well deserved, I think. Absolutely diving into that back row there, picking off everybody who had any sort of damage. And oh, Hanzo hiding in the corner. Nearly got away with it again! This Hanzo.
It is really rough whenever you get spotted in those corners, and that's a big thing as well that Overwatch really relies on is kind of staggering out the enemy. So while hiding in the corner, obviously one of the things that should be drilled into anyone when they try and play Overwatch is living is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Like if you die, you're out of the fight. You don't get your ult charge. You don't get anything like that. But if you do keep yourself alive too long, kind of in that example, the opposite issue almost happens where you may lose out on a team fight or an engagement because you have kept yourself alive too long. The rest of your team have spawned. The enemy team have then found you in a corner, killed you, and then the team have to wait, an additional 6 or 7 seconds for you to respawn and the engagement to resume. So that type of stuff can be very tricky. So unfortunate for the Hanzo that they weren't able to just keep themselves safe for the whole time.
Yeah, it is so important to know when to back away from a fight as well. Like, it's all fine and well. If you think you can take on 1v5, you can't. All right, I'm just going to tell you now. It's very unlikely.
I don't think there's any perks that can do that yet that we've seen.
Well, we never know. It looks like we're going to go to our next map here, which is Hybrid, and it's not King's Row.
Oh
it's
my
gonna
days.
Be Blizzard World.
We have been seeing a lot, because you'd mentioned, Susie, I believe it was just before we started, like Farah had been showing up a decent bit in terms of it. Teams do seem to be opting for the very kind of open maps that Farah can just fly around on, because you do essentially have to challenge the enemy to say, if you can't shoot this, if your aim isn't on par, you just kind of lose.
Yeah, that is true. And it's about looking at what the other team can do as well. Because if you find they are not playing any hit scan, maybe they're not so confident with that, then Farah could be a great shout for you. Likewise, if their supports are maybe not as willing to switch to something like Break, getting there with a Tracer, you can easily clean up a Zenyatta or Anna. Well, I say easy, but that bouncy nade thing, maybe not so easy now.
I love the bouncy nade's one of my favorite things I've ever seen in this game. The bouncy nade is sick. I absolutely adore it. In terms of like the other perks and things we've seen ones that do really stick out. The Juno one, actually, just because you had brought it up, Susie, the torpedoes can lock on 35% faster, and that's the minor perk.
Oh, okay.
That's the minor. That's not even the major perk. The major perk is either the Meta Blaster can crit enemies, which, again, the crit enemies is kind of a cool idea, but let's face it, if you're trying to do damage to an enemy, you don't really want to be on support. Maybe Zenyatta is really the only one I can think of, but in theory, as a support, you're obviously aiming at your teammates more. The big one, though, and why we have seen Juno pop up, her glide boost also resets her double jump. So the momentum and the mobility she gets is absolutely wild.
Yeah, they are some really fun perks. Like, we could go through all of them all day and just be like, what the heck is that? But
Oh
you
yeah.
know, we'll not bring up too many that aren't relevant. We'll just have to see what happens, won't we, when they come up, because it's crazy. It's going to be a lot for even the most seasoned player to get their head around, isn't it? It's just so much to think about now.
No, it's absolutely, and we have seen a lot of like Genji's actually started coming. I mean, the Nano Blade meta has kind of came back because of these perks. Because we have seen like anyone that used to play Genji kind of struggled with the support ultimates that came out when the supports became incredibly viable, just because most ultimates would shut down Dragon Blade. For anyone that doesn't know, basically, Genji pulls out his sword, does a couple of slashes, and does quite a bit of damage, but he has to take some time in between those slashes, so usually the healing was enough. Speaking of the Genji, actually, we do see Twilight on it, so that'll be interesting to go through and see how the Dragon Blade has adapted with the perk system. Pretty similar setup to what we've seen the blended team run, but Sleepy S, they're actually opting, instead of the Hazard, to go for the Sigma, which I'm a big fan of on Blizzard World.
Yeah, definitely. You can throw that rock down. You've got a nice big shield to guard you. I think it was a good move for Twilight to go into DPS, especially Genji, being that they're not in comms with the rest of the team. They will be off to go off and do their own thing rather than try to lead the charge as a tank. Yeah, we've got some interesting things on. Everyone loves that bouncing nade. We've got both teams picking up on the Ana here. Lifeweaver, one that you don't see very often at all in any stage of the Overwatch competition. Let's hope that they aren't going to do any inappropriate Lifeweaving and pull somebody back when they're very deep into the game here, which is what will happen whenever I see a Lifeweaver.
That Lifeweaver is very difficult because there is probably the most kind of risk reward character in terms of you can actively mess up your team very easily, which is always tragic when it does happen. So we will have to wait and see. At the moment, the control and the aggression here, going for that high ground advantage that we see Twilight going for. And here's what you can kind of see with the issue of the comms not being there. Twilight could have just kind of ran back and got the heal from Esports 6, but not aware. Doesn't matter though, actually, as Arissa's going to bring down the first one, and Twilight, yeah, going through off the back of that, just needs to work off the rest of their team, and that, you were saying, Susie, seems to be working out excellent for them.
Yeah, brilliant. As long as Twilight knows when to come back and where to find the Ana and the Lifeweaver, I think this could work out really well for them. As we've seen, the point gets taken really quickly. That is a really good time bank for that first point. And the blended team is kind of backing up, and they're going to have to let this little push go, just around the corner at least.
Yeah, exactly. And Blizzard World's one of the, I mean, as we were kind of saying earlier, like, you've got so many options with that kind of high ground advantage and things. So the Genji is from Twilight is quite a, very impressive kind of pick, just to have that awareness to get all that control. The Tracer from Kazumi has been pretty terrifying, and they did do a lot of work on it in that last game, so do not count that out at all. Speaking of counting out though, Chess Esports 8's already going to fall with a beautiful work from the Sigma, and oh my days, yeah, that boulder is very terrifying. That stun comes through. Bilatiful trying to back up some damage. Chess Esports barely getting away with their life, and all the ultimates now online.
I want to say that was some great heal. Oh, Twilight! Oh, Twilight with the 3k blade. Can that be a little bit more? Maybe not. Okay, but I was so rudely interrupted by Twilight absolutely popping off there. I want to say it's a great healing going on for Cheney Esports here, because so many times in that little team fight, the Orisa was on 1 HP, maybe less, and the two caught there managed to bring them back from the dead so many times. So well done to 6 and 9 there.
Yeah, no, that was incredibly good teamwork. And here we see the the strength of the Dragon Blade. Mini Dragon though immediately showing back up and saying that while it was impressive to use the ultimates in combination like that, you're also just going to have to get the frags, and they have their ultimates online as well now. Their Nano Boost, their Pulse Bomb, very tricky to land but can be incredibly good. And of course the Kinitsu Rush, or the Kitsune Rush, sorry, should it decide to be popped. But speaking of ultimates being popped, it's going to be Charge Esports. It's got to be Cheney Esports, sorry, going for, again, the boulder to the face from Sleepy S. They're shutting it down, but it's very back and forth. It looks like it will be in the favor of the blended team, as they should be getting that payload stopped.
Yeah, great Sigma work from CPS here. That rock to the face, keeping that shield up everywhere in every angle as well, making sure nobody can sneak around in that little side door and get them without anyone noticing. But yeah, some great awareness here from both the teams, and we see that, okay, so Twilight is already well on their way to their major perk here, as we can see on that little bar, already having one, which I believe is 2 ups to the Dragon Blade choices there, that's not, but we'll see what they pick in just a moment. I think everybody else may just be nearly on their first perk, if not, haven't chosen them yet. I can't see, oh yes, Arissa's got one of their perks going on now. I think that might be it. Oh, here comes the Kitsune rush from Mini Dragon on the side of the blended team, stealing everybody up here, and oh, lovely sleep there! Beautiful.
That was filthy. Oh, and Twilight kind of realizing she needs to take something into her own hands. She is doing the slashes, gets 2, but Kazumi equally trading it out, so not quite as equal for her as she maybe would have liked. And the Bionic Nade slam dunked, taking out Kazumi in the background. So actually, for Cheney there, the Dragon Blade utilized by the kind of Cheney squad, but still not getting their full momentum just yet.
Yeah, so it looks like Twilight now has 2 perks online, which I believe they've picked. The Dragon Blade Swing gains 30% lifesteal and regenerating 25 health per second with Deflect, which is really good for somebody who has to go it on their own. So that's a good pick there from Twilight.
Yeah, exactly. For the Genji meme of "I need healing" is actually kind of now non-existent because Genji can heal himself. Seems that the developers were keeping an eye on that. But right now, yeah, it just does seem really struggling for the attack side just to get this last little bit. The Nano Kiriko can be very risky because those kunais are really difficult to hit. If she does manage to crit, it is some absolutely insane damage, and it does seem to have been enough for them. The defensive side really killing that time bank. If you remember, it was about 5 minutes to start with, and they've already killed 4. The Orisa ult coming through, not going to actually frag anyone just at the moment. The Rock going to get blocked a little bit, and the healing keeping up. The team fights have been going non-stop.
Yeah, great healing there from both teams especially. But once again, Orisa getting down to so low and getting pulled back by Lifeweaver and then healed up. It's been really good teamwork from them. Oh, and there we go. We've got a pick. Twilight has taken down Mini Dragon. Is going in with that Dragon Blade, but has been affected by the nade. A few hits might take down the life grip. It may have, well, I think it worked out for the life grip. Not too bad there. They were about half health. Could have been a little bit dicey. Probably for the best. Got the point over the line anyway. It worked out.
Yeah, exactly. The Dragon Blade just enough to get the point over the line and kind of steal that from it, because it did look to be a very confident hold from the blended squad. Unfortunately, just not going to be enough for them. Twilight has been causing such a headache with the with that Dragon Blade, but I will say very good ability usage there. There wasn't as much could be done as we've seen the Lifeweaver did have to pull through. And speaking of pulling through, Twilight and Esports 6 have just been going together. Genji and Ana have been together basically since Ana came out back in 2016. So yeah, no surprises there.
Yeah, I think maybe they had a little text chat before the game saying, Ana, just keep your eyes on Twilight and, you know, keep them alive, and I think everything will go fine here. Okay, we have had a little nano boost coming through there. I'm not sure if the thing currently with the nano boost is you might find somebody really random getting nanoed and you're like, why is that happening? And then you realise Ana has done it to nano themselves.
And that's the thing as well, because the nano boost, it does give you a bit of a heal. I mean, it keeps you alive in the fight for longer. So there are times where Ana can absolutely, you know, Nano Boost was already very strong when you did it on one hero. The fact that you now can do it on 2 is ridiculously powerful. So that's why Ana is so strong, because the Nano basically just means that your damage reduction's higher, you do more damage, therefore you do more healing, everything like that. Speaking of trying to do more damage, Twilight in that backline, but no, the anti-nade getting thrown from VHS and completely shutting them down. There's only 40 seconds left as well, so one good team fight left, but Twilight going to have to try and get that Dragon Blade before it's too late.
Yeah, not too far to go, only 15%, but they're going to have to hurry with it. This could be big if it picks anybody up, but it didn't. Oh, okay. Great amount of damage there going on to Kazumi. Here comes the magic tree for the Lifeweaver. Going to keep everyone a little bit alive. Yeah. Oh!
Oh!
What?
No, keep going, Susie. That was just mental.
Oh my god, absolutely beautiful there, kicking Twilight out of that Dragon Blade. That is probably going to be, it won't be the play of the game in the traditional sense, but for me that is probably going to be the play of the game, you know, in the ethical sense. Oh my gosh.
That was insane. Yeah, VHS has been dirt. Like, she has landed so many stars. I mean, that sleep there, had the Fortify not blocked it, that was going to be another incredibly pivotal sleep. But yeah, with Fortify now being used, you know, that means Esports 5 isn't able to stay alive. Sleepy Esther then just chasing down Twilight. Twilight swapping onto that Tracer just to try and get any space she can. But, oh, with the Graviton left, here we go. Slam onto the floor. Sleepy Esther is going to pick up the last two. Incredibly good hold. Little wave as well for the stream. So say hi to Esther, everyone. Incredibly solid hold.
That was, I mean, from the start when they had over 5 minutes in the time bank, and then they just managed to hold them out on that second point for so long. Then we came at the third point and got a little bit around the corner, but not too far. Brilliant defending there from the blended team. But yeah, we can't ignore the fact that Cheney Esports have really sort of pulled it together. A much stronger performance in the first map.
Yeah, no, it's very, like, getting Twilight onto that DPS more, getting Twilight to follow the rhythm of four other members is probably quite a bit easier than getting 4 members to follow Twilight's rhythm. So really smart and really good adaptation from them, from the all-girls side there. So incredibly well played from them. We do see Twilight actually pulling out the Ashe on this defense side. So running through, Ashe has one perk that is completely ridiculous, and that's her Viper Sting. So if Ashe lands 2 headshots on you with her guns while zoomed in, the headshots deal 25 extra damage, and she gets refunded both of those bullets.
That is so good, because my major issue with Ashe is how long it takes to
reload. It's mental. That's so insane. So if Twilight can make that usage of that, then this is going to be tough.
Yeah, and I've got a feeling Twilight is just waiting on that high ground, waiting for them to come in with anybody who can take a headshot. But perks are not going to be available for a little while yet, especially if we've changed characters. We're going to have to redo them all, but let's see how this does. We've got a Diva here on CPS. They're going to try and dive that high ground and take Twilight off. You knew they were going to be hiding there, absolutely. Followed up by the Kiriko and the Juno. We've got a nice little dive comp going on here with these 3 and the Echo in the background as well. Not rush to teleport around. Okay, so it's quite a comprehensive team here that we've got going on from the blended side. The little cheeky nade to the face means they all have to back out a little bit though.
Yeah, no, that's SimTP, very aggressive and trying their best to create space, but it looks like Twilight and Esports 8 on the Hanzo have done just enough here, unless that bunny blaster from Diva can be quite terrifying at times. Kazumi managing to bring down, and actually, yeah, it's going to fall to the advantage, it does look like, of the attacking side. Mini Dragon, Kazumi staying up. Kazumi unfortunately does fall. Twilight landing those crits, and the Dynamite popping Mini Dragon as well. That actually could have been the first point, but at least a tick on the board, so only 2 more to go before before Cheney are able to continue pushing through, or before the blended team can continue pushing through.
Yeah, good defense there, but everyone's back online for both teams now. And oh, look at this huge jumping from Twilight, just trying to get like almost a Widow-esque sort of jump and jump shot there, trying to get a high ground advantage when they can't push in. Brilliant shooting there, just trying to take down the cheeky Echo or anybody else who gets in the way. But we are going to have a push around the other side for the blended team, for the attacking team here.
Here we go.
Coming out. Oh, the Diva's gone diving on somebody in the back here. Was that Twilight in the back?
I believe it was, yes it was. Twilight getting absolutely bullied, and we do see the Kiriko follow up as well. But that backline with the Ana and Kazumi, they are fragging just that forward line, and now you've got the Ana all the way in the back, actually managing to essentially 1v1 a Diva mech. Twilight bringing out Bob to try and keep all the space. The Diva nuke attempting to. I really appreciate that effort from Sleepy Esther, but Twilight getting the frag and managed to hide from the Diva explosion. So what could have been very scary for them has ended up in a lot of ult usage for the attackers and not any additional space granted. Oh!
Whoa!
Oh!
Beautiful from Twilight there, straight in the head. And we do see these perks start to come online for the teams here. So it's going to be interesting to see what they all pick to enhance their game. Oh, this is the thing. You can't just rely on Twilight standing on some high ground here because, you know, they're just going to jump in the air wherever they are. You don't know where they're coming from. This is terrifying.
Speaking of not knowing where everything's coming from, this is every ultimate, the kitchen sink as well. Kitsune Rush, that Graviton Smash for Orisa, the Nano Boost are all coming out, and it does seem to be all red on that kill feed, unfortunately, for the attacker side. Kazumi at least able to pick up one, but the spawn's not really working out in their favor unless there can be a massively fast regroup. If Paladiful falls here, this is absolutely massive. So most ultimates have been used. Kazumi does have the big Symmetra wall. Lifeweaver, of course, with the Wise Mystical Tree. And the adaptation here, we're actually going to go around to the bottom left. We're not going to try and just push up through the mid. There are only 4 members, I believe, of the blended team. We are missing 1, I believe. So hopefully they'll be able to regroup and get this, what possibly could be the final push underway.
They got to be so careful not to get somebody randomly picked up by Twilight here. Big wall coming out for the Symmetra. Oh, and a pick onto the Lifeweaver. No magic tree going up in this fight. That Spike over there coming in, chasing down the Hanzo. And this looks like we are finally going to, or are we? Hang on. It looks like I was going to say finally, but maybe not. As Twilight still remains, and there's somebody else there, I think, shooting them in the back. I'm not sure, but no, I think Twilight backed away with their life, and we are finally going to hit this point for the blended team. Only 2.5 minutes left on the clock, though.
Yeah, no, Bob very much there, trying to do as much as he can from Twilight, but unfortunately just not enough. Bob is incredibly scary, because if you don't have the kind of cohesion to focus him down, the damage he does over that time is quite severe. And now we see kind of one of the more scary things. Cheney Esports 8 still not, unfortunately for them, able to get any of the perks online for Hanzo, and falling to Sleepy Esther like that is only going to delay it even more. Esther trying their best. They've identified that Twilight's that big pain in their neck, trying their best to get the frags. VHS actually will be the one to follow it down. Meanwhile, the fight on this point is going to go absolutely equalized, but with 2 members down, you really got to rotate and just retreat back out for a bit.
Yeah, and it looks like that's what they're trying to do. So, like, trying to keep the presence, but also trying to fight it as well. Everyone's going down now on the team of Cheney, as Hazard is just running in with every spike that they've got, which is possible, and we have got a little pause going on.
We have got a little pause. I do want to shout out as well very quickly. The Symmetra teleport, the place down, was actually pretty sick. Because that did create a lot of damage, which allowed Esther to pull through. It does look like we've had a crash from Kazumi. Unfortunately, hopefully it won't be too long before we do get them back. My boy is still behind me. Good. I thought Yoshi had fallen down. I was sad. But yeah, no, incredibly good stuff off of that Sim TP, because the Sim teleport is something that is so pivotal, because essentially you go from a team fight in front of you to in your backline and getting slaughtered, which is exactly what Esther managed to do. So very, very well done.
Yeah, and have you seen the perk regarding the Sim teleporter?
No.
It is now, the range is now increased by 50%. So you can from even further away if you see, in the distance, I want to get that guy over there.
And that's exactly what you can do. That's quite scary. In terms of it, what's Symmetra's big one, do you know?
The big perks, you can either primary fire range increased by 15% with each additional charge levels. You know how it like ramps up.
Yeah. Oh damn.
Yeah. So the range goes further as well, which is quite scary.
Mm.
Or Symmetra regenerates 20 shields per second while within 10 meters of her teleporter. What does that sound like? A shield generator, maybe?
Oh my days! Yeah, she got her shield generator back. Oh my god, that's so cool. Okay, that's actually pretty sick. Okay, you know what? The perks are awesome. The perks are genuinely awesome. Like fair play.
There's so many little perks that are kind of throwbacks to early Overwatch. Like Hanzo has a scatter arrow back, for example.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
No, he doesn't. Oh my god! Oh, that's sick! Oh my god, we're back to the days of simple geometry. That's awesome! Oh, that makes me so happy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, anyone who I don't know if the perks will make it as much, but Scatter Arrow has traumatized a lot of OG players, because if you were good with Scatter Arrow, you could just one-tap tanks by just shooting the floor underneath them. So we'll have to wait and see if that comes back. That's absolutely wild. But yeah, so far, the teams, I just want to point out, both pretty evenly matched. They've been going pretty blow for blow with each other. It's been pretty close. They're working off of each other's util. They're working off of each other's ultimates incredibly well. Even with Twilight subbed in, the cohesion from both teams, really solid.
Yeah, they're both doing really well. I mean, it started out a little, little ropey on the side of the blended team in that first push by Cheney. but then they held them really well. And now this fight has just been so backwards and forwards. Hopefully we are going to get our player back in just a moment. I think they're coming back soon. Yeah.
Hopefully we get Kazumi as well, because Kazumi's been doing work on that Ana. You do not want to be losing Kazumi. Oh, Kazumi has started playing Overwatch, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that means she will be rejoining us in just a second. So, yeah, no, incredibly back and forth games. It's been quite a blast to see. So we'll have to see how it keeps going on. Looks like we will just have to get them invited to that lobby. But yeah, any predictions, Susie, so far?
At this point, I think it's anybody's game, but obviously when you lose a player, that can ruin the sort of momentum of your team. So my prediction would be Cheney might get this one just because of the disruption of the blended team. When you lose somebody, it's kind of like, oh, I don't know. In the middle of the fight, somebody just appears. There's a little bit of a wobbler, but if anyone can pull it back, it's this blended team though.
That is true. Yeah, no, it can kind of change around in terms of the style. Oh, looks like here we go. Kazumi is here. Yeah. Oh, well, it's Kazumi is, I believe, in the lobby. I'm not sure if she's actually in the game. So we'll have to just wait and see. Hopefully, her little icon should show up in just a second to signify that all is good. Does look like everyone is ready in the game, so we should just be jumping back in just a moment. To remind everyone, 1 minute 38 seconds on the clock for the attacking side. A lot of ultimates. Hello, did everything? Oh my days. Okay, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I had a full driver crash. My entire PC went black for a second. That was horrifying. We're all good. Because Kazumi has infected my PC as well as her own, apparently, is what I'm going to go with there. But yeah, 1 minute 38 in the time bank. Lots of ultimates for Cheney, though. 4 ultimates online in Twilight with 50%. So going to be quite scrappy for these last few games, or for these last few fights, I should say.
But where we are at the moment, just looking at the kill feed, it's looking very much in the favour of the blended team, even though they lost Kazumi there for a little spell. So I think they're probably going to take this point, but then it's just going to be, maybe 3 minutes of absolute torture to get around that corner on the 3rd point. So it depends if they're going to throw. It could be any ultimates this final fight here on Cheney. I don't think they are. Yeah, it's going to touch, but they're still going to throw ultimates into it. Okay, weird choice. But it might work out for them as Twilight comes in with a kill onto Beltsville there. Here comes a little dragon from Esports 8. Gonna find the Juno. Didn't manage to get away. Oh, okay, and Cheney Esports are really fighting back here. They're like, okay, we let you have it, but you're going no further.
Yeah, a bit. I mean, honestly, maybe just a little bit of a miscommunication there, but because they seemed very confident to win that, but given obviously the blended team that really advanced spawn, it does mean that your positioning is going to really struggle here. As we can already see, you're essentially having to get pushed back anyway. And oh my days, Esther with the hazard, that's absolutely filthy. The ult doing some very solid stuff there. That just the utility trying to do as much as it can. Bob attempted to also do something, but here's what happens whenever Bob just kind of gets put through in the middle of a big team fight. He can get focused down. Kazumi does at least fall, but everyone else is happy just to let him chill.
Yeah, Bob survived the onslaught there. And I don't know if you've noticed Arissa's little shield coming out. Another throwback to the early Overwatch days. I told you pirate ship's back on the menu. I'm waiting for it. Okay,
that's surreal.
It is so funny, isn't it? I love it. I love all these little nods back to the olden days. But that shield is going to cause them so much trouble because, it's good for them to hide behind. However, a big spiky wall behind you means that you don't want to walk too much further back. As Hazard goes pushing in, and it looks like the blended team is... Oh, did they find that health pack? It cut away. I didn't see... Oh, I think that's Twilight trying to get health back. Oh, it's so low! Managing to get away, not getting away on 1 HP this time. Arissa going to go in and get that health pack perhaps, but then spikes coming out from Hazard. Now, I know Hazard has a perk regarding those spikes. I think they might have chose that one. And if they have, that perk is really, really nasty.
Let me just have a look and check. Well, actually, it's been enough that's just going to take the round. The space control for the blended team, just very solid stuff. Very good. Honestly, had Cheney made the decision to take that team fight just before the point had been taken, we likely would have seen a Cheney victory, to be honest, because it's very difficult when the point is that close to your opposing spawn, but you didn't, get it over the edge. All of a sudden, you are stuck with having to run back, 10 seconds to try and re-engage, and if anyone gets staggered, you lose that much momentum. But with the point already gathered, the blended team are kind of going, it's cool if you kill us. We're right here.
Yeah, no problem for them whatsoever. Yes, I think they did have the perk on the hazard there that I was interested in. Now, and when I saw this one, I thought this is really good. Why aren't more people using this? Okay, so the spike guard thing, the little bunnies things flying around him. Okay, he not only damages you, he not only reduces damage, but now he does 25% lifesteal as well.
Oh, my days.
I think that is
Oh,
so good.
oh. No wonder. I mean, because I was genuinely honest, I was like, how is Hazard seeming so unkillable? Yep, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Combine that, I imagine, with for anyone that doesn't know, Anna's biotic nade increases, I believe, all healing you get by like 50%. Like it's not just her rifle. So you stick that on Hazard, who's already mitigating damage, doing damage with his spikes, life stealing you. Like that's a lot of stuff. So yeah, no
It's just
surprise that Hazard
everything.
can dive in. Yeah, literally all the good things in the game and all the bad things in the game. Like Hazard's got all the good things going and none of the bad things. So that's really strong.
Okay, it looks like we are going to go into our next map very shortly. It is going to be our Flashpoint map, and it will be New Junk City. Any predictions for this one? In this one, I feel you've got to move really quickly because those points could be really far away.
Yeah, it's quite surprising, honestly, because I think we've seen basically, at least from what I've seen, kind of like in the top elos and things, and from kind of other leagues that I have done, this map doesn't really exist. It's just Esperanza, so it is quite refreshing to see New Junk City come through. We will have to see, as you said, will it be enough to kind of come through, or will the knowledge kind of be there? Because New Junk City is a massive map, and those flashpoints are a decent distance away from each other. So New Junk City has much more of a kind of meta of you can by all means just let the opponents take the last like 10% of the flashpoint and just call dibs on the next one.
Yeah, sometimes it's about that damage limitation, isn't it? It's like we could do a fight, but we'd have to invest ultimates into it, and it might just not be worth it. We just have to wait for the next one. And I think that's another communication thing. Do we go? Do we not? That may have a little bit of an impact on the Cheney team, given that they can't talk to Twilight. But I think Twilight's doing a really good job at looking after themselves.
I mean, yeah, Genji does not. Again, Genji does not need healing with all that self-sustain he now has. That's very different to the style of Genji that used to have to be played. Genji was used to be very much a kind of feast or famine character, where if you were not getting like those frags with the Swift Strike and getting yourself out, you were just dead. Because in the big ball of heroes and characters, you're really struggling to heal your Genji with anything other than AoE healing, but that's obviously not as strong as your kind of direct. What I love to see, we have not seen Roadhog in ages for Esports 5, so I'm so excited to see this from Cheney. I really do hope it works out as we get into this third map, and I believe, yeah, we'll be going through the hook immediately into the trap as well. Very solid. Ramensys actually winning the Hanzo duel and picks off Twilight, his own brother, or her own brother as well. Incredible stuff. Well, from a lore perspective, his own brother, I guess. But yeah, with 2 frags, that's a hell of a start.
Yeah, great start there from our blended team. The shout coming up from Junker Queen as they retreat back to maybe take a little bit of the point here, get some percentage going on while the team fight is continuing. Oh, lovely shot there, straight into the head of the Lucio on Cheney with that sonic arrow. Maybe they will have a scatter arrow very shortly, or maybe not, as J Esports has just taken out Ramsey there. But it does it's very clean for the team of the blended side, and they are going to start taking up that percentage. And I think that percentage goes up really quickly. I think it goes up quicker than a regular percentage. Maybe it's just me.
I think it does. I think it does, because you do have to get obviously the 3 flashpoints, and it's first to 3, best of 5 on those flashpoints. So flashpoint can definitely take a while. I am very much invested in this Ramensys Esports 8 Hanzo mirror, because both of them I think have gotten each other once and like gotten very solid frags. You see Ramen again pop up in that kill feed. Very scary, and oh my days, the Twin Dragons have already come out to feast on the side of Cheney. That is incredible, and this flashpoint will essentially be gathered for free. Keep Ramensys on Hanzo, that's my suggestion.
Yeah, doing some great jobs here, and they'll probably be online to pick a couple of perks in a minute, which I'm expecting to see if that scatter arrow comes out for you to remind you of the good old days.
I'm a sucker for nostalgia, please.
Okay, first blood, first point going to our blended team here. Now, Cheney needs to decide if they're going to try and rush around to the other side and get to that point before the blended team do, which it looks like they're going to try and do with that Lucio speed boost. Maybe get a little bit of position before the blended team can even get there. You know, positioning is everything in Overwatch. But what happened to Twilight? Picked up in their prime.
Misclick is exactly what happened to Twilight based on that chat, the lol coming through. That is a message from someone who has absolutely made a dire mistake, but at the very least are able to keep, you know, her mental up with that attitude, which is lovely to see. And we do see, Sleepy they're just trying their best to get this frag. They're not quite able to, or Esports 9 not quite able to save the Roadhog. Mini Dragon, in fact, picking up the Ditto kill, and the perks now coming online, but this space control from the blended side has been pretty damn phenomenal.
Yeah, they finally made it to the point. And oh, hang on, Cheese Buzz is backing up. Oh, poor Hanzo again. It always seems to be that poor little Hanzo, doesn't it, on Cheney Esports, getting bullied into a corner there. But didn't quite manage to escape that time. Twilight running away with their life, hoping that the team can regroup, but it's not going to happen. Oh, hang on! Oh no, Mini Dragon hooked right into that trap with a TNT from the Ash as well. That's really bad news, losing that. Lucio had to beat it as well. Oh, but every ultimate being thrown in here from both sides. Is it going to be enough to get off any picks at this point? Meanwhile, Twilight, who is absolutely not involved in that whatsoever, just seems to be killing everyone from somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to work out exactly what happened there. That was the kitchen sink was also involved in that. That was absolutely ludicrous. So beautiful Maywall from from Baladiful actually, which is pretty good. So a Baladiful Maywall, I guess I should say. Oh, it's Twilight just picking up another kill there just while I'm chatting. But the Maywall to block them in. Then we seen the response nano and the scrap machine gun from Esports 5 and 6. We then seen the reckoning come through from the Junker Queen to try and stop. From Sleepy Esther to try and stop any healing, but the Roadhog push was just enough. So yeah, a lot of stuff committed. And speaking of committing, Esports 5 just a little bit too aggressive. Mini Dragon gonna punish her for it, and now with that space control, there is a refrag opportunity, but that axe is quite scary. Bob trying to do as much as he can, and Twilight, from the help of that, will be able to pick it up. The Dragon's coming through from Ramesses, but not able to find anything.
Yeah, brilliant. And as we go on to about 90% here, I'm not sure if the blended team are going to have another stab at this, or, you know, what we said before, they're just going to back away and try for the next point. And it looks like they're just going to let it take over. Absolutely fine. As we go on to our third point, and that's what we want to see. We want to see a bit of backwards and forwards. We want to see a 3-2 here going on this flashpoint map.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's been very back and forth. Again, I'm adoring how close the teams very much are. There's been a lot of there has been some mistakes, of course, in terms of maybe a bit of overcommits and things, or maybe a bit of mispositioning. But honestly, for the most part, the teams are incredibly coordinated. They are playing off of each other quite well. There's been very little in terms of utility that's been purely kind of wasted. The only one that I can think of is that example just back on Blizzard World where the point had been capped and then all the ults had been committed. But speaking of committing, we've got a big team fight coming on now. Twilight is just shutting it down, the Dynamite as well, but Sleepy Esther not going to go down from that tech damage, not even close. The Flashpoint has been gathered by the Cheney, and with 3 members down, very, very consistent control, and 3 ultimates as well for both teams. This is going to get very scrappy in the next fight.
It looks like Cheney's really found their groove on this map, doesn't it? You know, they seem to have this Roadhog thing going on. It's really working out for them as well. And we are going to see very shortly, everyone is going to get that major perk, probably in the next couple of team fights. And that could just change everything, though, because you never know what's going to come out from all the characters.
Exactly, yeah, speaking of it, here we go. There's going to be a bit more shenanigans come through. One thing I want to say just very quickly, Esports 5 on that Roadhog, when they hit their hook, she now gets 2 shots reloaded. So you're not going to be seeing near as one. There we go, so that's 2 shots reloaded. You won't have to see that as much. But here we go, the Kitsune Rush, the Lucio sound beat, the Junker Clean Reckoning, and that is a lot of utility used. A very clean win on the fight, but honestly, what I love from Cheney, they accepted that.
Let's just see if Twilight can get away with it. Yeah, no, not quite. Okay, that was a beautiful team fight though. The Kitsune Rush came out, and then I believe it was a brilliant rampage there from Sleepy Esther to get everybody in that purple unhealable zone. And oh, we've had a little bit backwards and forwards with these dragons here. And only 1 casualty from 2 ultimates though on the side of Cheney. They're going to have to back off a little bit. They got plenty of time though. Oh, no, we're committing a Bob! The Bob's out!
Oof, it's a good shot, but are we going to see? I mean, there's 4 ultimates as well left for the attackers as well. They don't. The defending side on the blended team, they don't really have much. And here we go. You are powered up. Get in there. The Roadhog gun trying its best to do as much, but the freeze is absolutely so pivotal. That's the nano and the ultimate gone. VHS picking up those frags as well. That was insane work from Blackful. Twilight trying her best to, you know, keep any momentum, but let's face it, I don't think you're going to be doing very much. And with that, the second flashpoint looks to be going towards the blended team.
That was a brilliant freeze there from May on Blackful on the May there. Absolutely pinnacle. Managed to shut out so much that was going on there. So many resources were committed, and the freeze just shut them all down. You can't do anything if you can't move. Brilliant. Great awareness.
Yeah, no, it's great, and it's weird to see because I mean I'm used to May not freezing people again, so it's nice. Like it's so rad seeing all these perks essentially appeal to my nostalgia. Yeah, I'm Unk, I think is what the kids now call me. So that's what I have to accept. But yeah, no, incredibly good stuff. The back and forth. Cheney just not using their ultimates in that first fight and then letting themselves, you know, kind of have that control. Very solid attempt, but unfortunately just the blended team still able to keep up that momentum. Speaking of, your tanks are gone. Raven Sis has been battering with those arrows. She refuses to miss. Esther picking up another frag as well. And so because of that, very, very consistent control from the blended side, and these ultimates starting to come online as well as all these perks.
Yeah, that was a brilliant, I think there's a good nade onto the Roadhog there. And we all know how difficult Roadhog is to kill. Keeps healing themselves when they've got support as well. You really need a good Anna to take care of a good Roadhog. I would definitely say that is what you need. Here comes the big dragon. Oh, everyone caught up in that little corner. Is it going to find anybody? Yes, it gets number 9 there from Cheney Esports. But that is going to be it. I thought that would have got more. They were also backed into that corner here. But it does look like the blended team are going to continue this good hold. Unless, here comes Bob. Is it going to be enough? I'm not sure where Bob went. Oh, into the corner. They are on the point though. And they are going to make a go for this. I wasn't sure if that was the best play. But hey, I'm not the one playing here. You can only play how you play in the moment.
That's why we're on the caster desk, is what I always say for things like that, for the decisions. It's like that's why we're here. But yeah, in terms of it, Bob able just to keep the control. Beautiful sleep onto that rampage, but Sleepy Esther immediately being woken back up. The axe swing not going to be enough. Lucio is a nightmare to try and get these shots on, particularly, but eventually is going to fall along with the remaining members. I like this. Good use of this. Yep, here we go. Twilight understanding, but she trying to actually, I think, detonate herself to get the spawns flipped a little bit earlier, but sadly not for them, as we might have one fight left. Twilight's probably going to have to be here late, so sound barrier coming in, but you got to go fast.
Yeah, they have to put everything they can into getting to this point. We've only got 5 seconds left to do it. I'm not even sure if anyone's going to touch Maywall, stopping them from getting in, and they are not going to be able to make it to the point. And the blended team will take it. Great Maywall there, stopping them from coming in through the main door. And wow, what a game. Let's see what our play of the game was for that one. Oh, Ramen sis, here we go. What stupid move is this going to be?
I think this is just when she just... Because I think there's like 3 arrows, she just... Yep, that's... Oh, and then the follow-up, and then the follow-up dragon as well. Yeah, that was insane. We see the perk as well coming online. Very quickly, just because I was having a look at Hanzo's perks there, I don't think we're going to see the scatter arrow very often, because I did not realize his other minor perk. He somber hacks health kits.
Oh yeah,
with the sonar. Arrow. So that means that means you just don't have access to that. That's insane.
Yeah, the perks are very, very good. It's been a little bit crazy. But that was the last game for today, unfortunately. We have done a best of 5. We should have mentioned that it was the best of 5, but it is, and that is going to be our last game, so congratulations to our blended team. What a match.
Yeah, no, incredible stuff. And again, for both teams, I mean, Cheney obviously having to deal with, obviously a sub. That can be very difficult. Twilight, though, absolutely showed herself to be a phenomenal sub in that regard, working very well off the rest of the team as well. And then, of course, the blended squad. Yeah, shout outs to all of them. I do honestly believe that every single player at some point in the series had at least one moment that you could properly say, okay, this team fight was won, or this scenario or this position was taken due to something that they did, which is sometimes not always the case, particularly in Overwatch. So yeah, phenomenally well played from all of them. Even if it was a 3-0, Pretty close 3-0.
Yeah, at any point in those maps, you could have tuned in and you wouldn't think that this is going to be a 3-0 because it's really backwards and forth, especially on that last one, especially on Blizzard World. Really good showing from both of them. Especially, I think Twilight going to DPS made all the difference on the Cheney Esports team. However, our blended team today, just actual stellar work from all of them as well, working together as a team from different teams as well. So it's a bit crazy for them too.
No, I love to see it, and I do just want to shout out, Ramen, keep practicing that Hanzo because you're kind of terrifying on it. Like that ability just to kind of drop someone out is incredible. But as I said, every member of both teams I think deserves a shout out for at least one big play. So yeah, keep practicing on. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And Susie, any kind of last wrap up words or anything for us?
No, thank you so much to everybody who's taken part. Thank you to all the players, all your teachers, and all the colleges involved. And thank you to SGS for putting on this show match today. And thank you to all the women in esports who make esports so wonderful. You don't get shouted out enough. So I'm saying thank you to everybody.
Yes, and a big thank you to you guys for having ourselves. So yeah, I think that's going to be us. So final shout outs to everyone. Shout outs to the production and everything as well. Obviously making us look and sound as good as we can. It's always a massive help. So yeah, until the next time, hopefully not too soon. Thank you very much, everyone, and hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Take care now.